Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be reacting to his story. If you guys don't know who his story is, I'll show a picture right here. And he's been going pretty viral. Alright, so here's the first short. And let's play it.
My school's hero for 1 minute before everyone watched what happened next. I don't play around when it comes to Halloween, so during our school's Halloween dance, I dressed up in real firefighter gear from my dad's closet. Real jacket, real boots, real helmet. I strutted around the gym like I owned the place.
Okay, why does the school, did it say school Halloween party? Because why does the school look like there's nothing there? What the?
Till the fog machine popped like a toaster and the fire alarm went off. Everyone cheered thinking it was part of the show until I smelled burnt plastic. Teachers started waving their arms, telling everyone to stay calm. But I noticed the orange extension cord powering the machine didn't stop at the wall. It ran out the side doors and down the hallway toward the science wing. Then someone near the door yelled, "Smoke in the hallway," and teachers started shouting for everyone to evacuate. Real sirens started wailing outside and fire trucks pulled up. The crowd poured into the parking lot while firefighters rushed through the main doors. That's when one of them spotted me standing near the entrance in full gear. "You, with us!" he shouted.
Oh,
"We're clearing the east wing." I opened my mouth to say I'm just a student, but he shoved a flashlight into my hand and pushed me forward. The hallway was dark and filled with smoke. We followed the orange cord past the lockers until it disappeared under Mrs. Carter's classroom door. One of the firefighters reached for the handle and jerked back. "Hot," he said, then looked at me. "Hit it!" But I only had my foam axe. I swung as hard as I could and it bounced off with a pathetic squeak. The firefighter grabbed it, swung himself, and the foam bent in half. He stared at it, muttered, "These damn budget cuts," and tossed it aside. That's when someone shouted from down the hall and he waved to the others. "Forget this door. We'll circle back once we've got tools." They started heading back down the hall, but then I heard it, a squeaky wheel spinning frantically. This was Mrs. Carter's room, and the class pet Mr. Nibbles was still inside. I turned back to the door. The handle was glowing red. I wrapped my jacket sleeve around my arm and threw my shoulder into the bottom panel until it cracked open. Smoke poured out and choked me instantly. The hamster cage was on the counter, and tiny flames were eating the papers around it. I grabbed the melted cord with my sleeve and yanked it from the wall. A spark bit through the fabric straight into my skin, and I screamed, but kept pulling until the plug came loose. I grabbed the cage with my smoking sleeve and the metal seared into my palm. I could smell my skin burning. My lungs felt like they were filled with glass, and my vision was going black around the edges, but I ran. When I burst through the side door, I collapsed face first onto the concrete and threw Mr. Nibbles onto the grass so I wouldn't crush him. I could hear cheering as hands grabbed me, and someone pulled off my helmet. A firefighter was staring down at me. "Kid, you're a hero." That's when I heard the scream. I turned my head and watched a hawk swoop down, grab Mr. Nibbles in its talons, and fly away. I became my school's hero for 1 minute before everyone watched what happened next. I don't play around when it comes to Halloween, so during our school's Halloween dance, I dressed.
Alright, so here is the next short. Let's go ahead and play it.
Son a ball of garbage on his 9th birthday. I couldn't afford a football, but I spent all night making this for you. He started dribbling it around our poor African village. I love it, Baba. One day I'll be a famous footballer in the World Cup, and I'm going to be so rich I'll buy you whatever you want. I didn't know what to say because I didn't think that could ever come true. But a week later, a volunteer from a charity truck dropped off food and clothes, and he stopped to watch my son juggle that garbage ball 50 times without a drop. "Where did he learn that?" he asked. I told him he taught himself, and he laughed and yelled, "If he keeps that up, I'll see him at the World Cup." My boy's whole face lit up with a smile. "It's meant to be, Baba. I'm meant to be a football star." The volunteer climbed into the supply truck and came back out with real football shoes and a real football. For the next 2 years, he'd kick the football while every kid in the neighborhood watched and cheered. But everything changed when a football academy was running trials in the city. I sold our goat for 2 bus tickets there. My son lined up beside boys in clean kits, the garbage ball still in his bag, and I was sure they'd send him home, but they kept him. And for 5 years, all I heard from him were postcards. Until one night, my phone lit up in the dark, and he could barely speak. "Baba, I made the national team, and we're going to the World Cup." And 3 weeks later, I sat in a stadium of 80,000 strangers, with the cracked badge of our village on my chest. The teams walked out under the lights, and I found my son in the line, the flag on his chest. Before the whistle, he jogged to the sideline and pulled a ball of garbage out of his kit bag. He dropped it onto his foot and juggled it. Once, twice, in front of the whole world. The boy who promised to buy me whatever I wanted pressed that ball of garbage to his chest, pointed it up at me, and I came apart in a stadium full of strangers. I handed my son a ball.
That one was good, not gonna lie. Alright, so this one is the next one, and let's see it.
when my phone buzzed. Look under your desk. Same text. The whole
Is that
class
gonna be a
bent down
jump
at the
scare?
same time. Taped underneath each desk was an envelope with our name on it. I ripped mine open and a Polaroid slid out. A blood splatter on white
What?
tile. I looked around. Everyone was holding something different. A lamp knocked over. A knife. Drag marks on carpet. 30 different
What
photos.
the-
All pieces of something horrible. Our phones buzzed
Nah,
again.
that's
Piece together the
creepy.
puzzle. You have 5 minutes. Everyone jumped up. We started comparing photos. Some had timestamps. We threw them on the floor in order. Blood, struggle, weapon, a body being dragged, a car trunk, dirt, a shovel. 3 minutes left. The photos weren't fitting right. Some
bro.
inside a house, some outside. Then someone
Run
noticed the
away,
edges. They fit
dude.
together like an actual puzzle.
Go out
We
the
started
door.
connecting them.
Stop
Blood
trying to
splatter to
figure
broken
it out.
lamp,
I'm
knife
just
to drag
running.
marks. 30 photos becoming one massive crime scene. 1 minute left. Something was missing. One missing piece and the whole class fails. Everyone turns to the kid in the corner, arms crossed. I'm not playing this sick game. The whole class turned on him. Put it down. He didn't budge. 30 seconds. 20, then 10. He threw his photo down. The centerpiece, a child's bedroom. 2 bodies on the floor. The door swung open. Our teacher walked in clapping. You just solved a 20-year-old cold case. When I was 8, someone left these photos in my mailbox. 1 each day. Pictures of my parents' murder scene. She pointed at the puzzle. The killer left DNA on the film. 20 years later, I finally got a match. She looked at us. It was my uncle. I was sitting in class when my
Yo.
phone buzzed. Look under your desk.
That one was creepy, not gonna lie. I thought I was about to get jump scared. Alright, so here is the next one, and I have no idea what's happening right now. I see he's sitting outside for some reason. Oh,
New Year's fireworks exploding while my dog sat calmly beside me. Gringo did 2 years in Iraq with me and wasn't scared of loud noises, but then a lit firework came flying straight at us. I scrambled to get Gringo,
way.
but I wasn't
Are these
fast
real?
enough. The firework went off near his leg, and Gringo immediately yelped. When I looked over, a punk teenager was staring at us and smirking from the
Oh
pavement.
my
Maybe now
gosh,
that dog
bro.
will finally start being scared of my fireworks. I balled my fist as I wanted to lay him out, but I couldn't hit a
Dude.
teenager. I drove Gringo to the hospital as he sat silently shaking in my car, quiet despite the terrible pain.
What happened
The
to
vet
the
told me
dog?
they'd have to amputate his leg. Gringo rolled home with me in a dog wheelchair for his back legs. The teenager stood right there with more fireworks in hand. Every day for the next 2 weeks, he set them off when me and Gringo walked outside. I gripped my head in horror because Gringo had
Bro.
started shaking and being afraid, something 2 years in Iraq never even did to him. I
my
watched the
gosh,
punk
poor
bring a box of
dog.
fireworks into his shed and knew I had to act. I called Hughes, the bomb diffuser I served with, and that night we were in the shed rigging his fireworks. We walked to his door and saw him through the window throwing darts at a board full of pictures of dogs. We rang, and he opened. "Are you here to beg me to stop with the fireworks? Your dog can't take much more." He laughed, but then Hughes held up a soul firework. He stuck it to the punk's hand before he could reply, and I held up a
my
detonator.
God.
"Now walk with us, or your hand goes boom." His face instantly went pale. "You're lying," but me and Hughes dragged him out to his backyard. Gringo was right there, watching. "Now we're gonna take your hand the way you took his foot." His legs began trembling,
No
and he
way.
dropped to his knees, and I pressed the detonator. It beeped once, and I laughed. "Now I'll give you a 3-second countdown to prepare before it blows for real." I held my finger inches from the button. 3, he cried. "No, please. I'll do anything." 2, "Please stop." 1, pee was running down his leg as Gringo wagged his tail.
Oh.
0, I pressed the button. The punk closed his eyes and pressed his hand into the dirt, but nothing happened.
fake,
"What's
isn't
going on?" he said through tears. Me and
No
Hughes got
way.
in his face. "I wanted you to feel the fear my dog felt, but because I'm nice, I won't actually take one of your limbs, even if you deserve it. But if
my
I see you light another firework, then I will. You got it?" He shook his head like a bobblehead, pale and shaking, with snot running down his nose. I unstrapped the firework and sent him home with his delinquency problem resolved. I was watching.
Alright. That's gonna be it for today's video. But if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!